All right, it's 3 o'clock, so we will get going. All right, so I guess I'll start with this official determination of a quorum. Do we have a quorum?
I count 8 members present. We have a quorum.
Sweet. Go us. All right, next we will move to approval of the April minutes. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve?
So moved.
Can I get a second? Second. All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Great. All right, April minutes are passed. All right, we will move on to reports. I will start. I have 3 quick things. The first, as you all saw in an email, I did based on some lovely feedback at the last meeting. I am moving our Ride the Roots series to just align with these meetings, and also changing it to just be during, like right after this meeting, because the few I had, I suddenly realized I don't have as much free time to do these every week as I wish I did, and I want you all to be able to join me. So we're just going to take a longer time to ride them, but that's fine because we can get the word out. So whenever we wrap up this meeting, if we're able to get to the station by the 4:15 bus, we will take that. We're doing the Route 40 today through South Knoxville. If it goes over, we will do the 5:15, and anyone that wants to join me for a drink or something in the meantime can. The other things I wanted to mention, and I saw somebody, I don't know if this was Matthew or someone, but what's in front of you, this What's Next Knoxville. It's the new comprehensive plan that the city is pushing forward, which has to do, again, with our vision for what Knoxville is going to be in the future. It deals with zoning and land use, things that are very, very important to transit. So I recommend that not only all of you all as commissioners get involved, also as citizens. But one of the things that I just found out is there's actually a city council workshop tonight at 6 that is, I believe, open to the public. Those workshops are, but it specifically has to do with how we can densify our corridors, which is better for transit too. So if we're back in time from our bus ride, I'll probably go to that if anybody wants to join. Yeah, those are my 2 or 3 things. Does any other commissioner have a comment or question or concern? Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you for being able to come. I'm very excited. Okay, great. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was curious if the resurfacing of Magnolia is having any negative impacts on routing of the 31 bus.
It is having an impact right now. We're having to use an alternate layover location out at Kirkwood, and right now, all of the roads are kind of dug up. I'm sure it's not making a major impact on our buses, but definitely our layover out there at Kirkwood is been impacted the most. But
Yeah, I know y'all are doing your best, and from what I can tell, you're doing a great job, but I was just kind of curious how y'all have to navigate those things. So thank you.
All right, any other commissioners? No? Okay, great. We will move on to staff, and we'll start with the Director of Transit.
Yeah, just a couple announcements. First, Monday is Memorial Day. We'll be running our Sunday service on Memorial Day. And then the other announcement or notification I wanted to provide the board is last month we talked about the Title VI program. Our plan is to provide the board with the edits ahead of the June meeting, at least 2 weeks in advance. That way you can review that, and then have any questions at that June KTA meeting. That's the plan as of right now. So just wanted to update the board on that. I know we talked about it last month. And that is all for my comments.
All right, we will move next to TPO.
I put the cards there, and I think Chair Durham did a pretty good job about promoting this. I will tell you there's a QR code on the back, and it'll take you to the website. And right now there's a survey you can do, and it's all about what your vision is for the future. And this type of plan only happens about once every 25 years. So it's kind of, to me, a generational plan. What we set now will last, for your children and maybe even grandchildren. And so I will say, since we are on community TV, it's whatsnextknoxville.com. So I encourage everyone to go there. And we're also out at all different types of community events. You know, we have a booth and try to hit as many of those as we can. And we've done something a little bit unique this time. We actually have a little storefront on Market Square. It's at 30 Market Square. It's not open all the time, so you need to go to the website to check the times it's open. A lot of times, like during the farmer's market, it's open. So if you can't get out to a community meeting, you can always stop by there. And we have displays in there, and you can do an in-person survey and everything. So check that out. I know everyone's schedule's busy. Sometimes you just can't get out to these meetings, but that's another opportunity to go in and see everything in person. So yeah, I think that takes care of it. Just if you can push these out to your interest groups or your neighborhoods or whatever, that will help us a lot too. So thank you.
Thanks, Doug. I'll also say I ran into, I had a work event the other day that the mayor was at, and I asked if her or someone from her staff would be interested at presenting briefly at our June meeting about this. And so I've reached out to Isaac, and we're trying to make that happen. So hopefully we'll have a brief presentation at our June KTA meeting, just delving more in depth at the connection of why this comprehensive plan matters for better transit. All right, we will move on to new business.
Yes, there's two items under new business. I did discuss these with the board last month. It's the route modification for Downtown Connector and making permanent the Downtown Connector free fare. I will talk about the route modification first. It's the first item. We've been running a detour called the Game Day Detour along Summer Place to Covenant Health Park for the last 6 weeks. And to ensure people that are parking at these locations can get over to Covenant Health Park, but also into Old City and other areas throughout downtown. This has been kind of problemsome for us because we're constantly having to change to this detour on a regular basis throughout the week. I know it's also confusing for our passengers. It makes a whole lot of sense for us to move toward making this permanent where we're not constantly moving back and forth from regular route to detour. So that's why we're making this recommendation. Again, it's less confusing for our passengers and for our operational staff. Any questions on the route modification for Downtown Connector?
Are there more buses when there are events at Covenant Health, or is it just, it's the same infrastructure all the time?
Yeah, so Covenant Health Park pays us to run additional shuttles for certain events. We always have 3 on there, 3 different buses on the Downtown Connector to make a 15-minute service, and then we're adding 2 buses on Fridays and Saturdays, typically for events. Just like today for Savannah Bananas at Covenant Health Park, we're running 2 additional buses on the Downtown Connector.
And when those 2 additional buses, they're running this exact route?
For the most part, yes. Sometimes the game runs very, very late. Downtown Connector is already done running, sometimes 11:15. Then we're just shuttling people from Covenant Health Park back to Summer Place.
Back to Summer Place,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, I guess if there are no more questions, we are voting on this, correct? Since we have a quorum?
That's correct.
Okay, so I guess I will ask if anyone wants to motion to approve these changes.
Are we voting on the route or the fare?
Right, this is just the route.
That's correct.
Right
Just
now.
want to clarify, thank you.
I would like to make a motion to approve.
I will second.
All right, everyone in favor? Any against? All right, we have a new downtown route. Next.
The next item is the making Downtown Connector fare free. Again, talked about this last month, but we've been running Downtown Connector fare free since December 1st, which has been a huge benefit, again, to visitors, residents of downtown, people coming in, wanting to park, and then visit our businesses. It's been hopefully lots of money. But the other advantage of this, too, is that we've actually seen an increase in ridership of over 6,000 rides since we started this program. I think it's going to continue to increase, our ridership is. And so that's why we're making this recommendation. Again, our goal when we had this pilot and the board voted on it was to see increased ridership. I said I wanted to see around 11,000. We're beyond 11,000. We're up to 12,000. It's going to continue to grow. So Any questions?
Awesome. Then we will take a motion to approve.
I move that we approve the fare-free recommendation.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, great. We have a free bus again. Woo! All right, that's all for new business, correct?
That's it.
Okay, we will move to old business.
We have no old business.
All right, well, no old business means we will now move to public comments. I have one signed up, Elliot Lloyd. If you'd like to come up to the podium here, you'll have 5 minutes to speak. It might not be turned on. Okay, so we'll have somebody turn it on. Just repeat for everyone your name and your address, and then feel free to give us your comments, and we will track your time.
Hello, my name is Elliot Lloyd. My address is 708 Morgan Street, Knoxville, Tennessee. Was there anything else I needed to say first? Okay. I am a student worker at the Office of Sustainability at UT, and I have been using public transit for over a year now. And one thing that I would like more of is bus stop amenities, shelters, benches, and information especially, as well as sidewalk access and crosswalk access, which are lacking at many bus stops. One thing about information, last week actually, I was waiting for a bus on Route 11 for over an hour, and when I called, they told me about when I could board the bus. However, I wouldn't have known to call if I hadn't been messing around with the app a few weeks ago. There was no phone number that I saw on the bus stop, and not everybody has Wi-Fi access. I know personally, I only recently have Wi-Fi access at my home, so I'm very restrictive with my data usage when I'm not somewhere that has Wi-Fi access. And so if somebody was also in that situation and didn't have any more data, they wouldn't have been able to look up the number, and they wouldn't have known that the bus was coming at all, because I had been waiting over an hour at that stop that had no sidewalk, no shelter, no benches. I have recently been researching Adopt-a-Stop programs, which several transit agencies of different sizes, some city, some regional, some multi-city, have used these, and they've increased public relations and overall quality of the stops. And I actually have some more information. If you'd like to talk to me about it later, I would love to talk to you about it later. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lloyd. I guess if there's anyone else in the audience that wants to give comments, no one else has signed up, but you are free to come to the podium if you would like to speak. We don't bite, I promise. Okay. All right. Well, with no other public comments, we will move to setting our next meeting.
And then
for
before we get
yes.
there, I want to just address the comments regarding
yes.
bus stop infrastructure. I know I don't disagree that there's a lot of work to be done there. I do want to update the public and the board we're working on designing 15 bus stops right now. We just met with city engineering. We're in the right-of-way stage. And then we have $600,000 more to do more bus stop designs. It's unfortunate, but the right-of-way phase of these projects does take time, and that is acquiring the land to be able to improve the bus stops. I'm not saying that it's going really, really well, but we have a lot of bus stops that need improvement, and that is our plan. Again, we have 15 stops that are designed. We have the funding to be able to construct those. We're waiting for the right-of-way, and then we have $600,000 more to do more bus stop designs to go into construction for those. So I absolutely agree regarding that. And I think in terms of bus stop signage, we need to check on that because most of our bus stop signs do have the phone numbers. So we will definitely be talking to you after this meeting to make sure we correct that issue. So.
Director Thorne, I have a question. That $600,000, is that in the mayor's budget for 26-27, or is that already been allocated?
It's already been allocated. It's a TDOT improved grant.
Okay.
So we are again, we've had discussions with city engineering and procurement, and we're wanting to move forward with those designs, so.
Hey, Dustin, we've talked a lot in the past about the non-public sector, I guess the private sector, being involved in making improvements to bus stops. And apologize, I've been absent the past few meetings, and I'm just curious if we've made any headway on how maybe businesses or individuals could be involved in these amenities.
So, yeah, so I'll say, so from my end of things, and I can't, speak to CAT staff because this is all kind of very tentative, but I did have a meeting. I may have told y'all, I can't remember, but I did have a meeting with the mayor a month or two ago, specifically, like, as KTA chair, just telling her kind of like, and she agrees. She's like, obviously she wants better transit too, but at the end of the day, it does come down to finances. And as I always say, if anyone is best friends with Dolly Parton, let me know. I will put butterflies in all of the buses if she gives us money. But one of the things that I am hoping to do that I proposed to her is I would like to start a fund within the city budget where basically, say it's $50,000 a year, something small, where the average shelter cost is I think like $10,000. That if you're a business or a nonprofit, a church, something like that, that if you can raise half of that, the city will match it. That way we can essentially double how far that money can go. She's very interested in that. What that's going to take, though, from my opinion, though, is us as commissioners and the public just reaching out to city council saying, hey, we think something like this is a good idea, so that hopefully by the time the budget is finalized for next year, at the end of this year, it can be a line item in there. So that's something that I would push all of you as commissioners to do, is to start having conversation with our elected officials about that too, because obviously we can't really do much as appointed officials. But I know that's something that also, staff would love to do, is they would, we all want to see bus shelters everywhere. But that is just one mechanism that I thought of that could be helpful, and I know the mayor is on board. We just have to get it more official. Did that answer a bit?
Yeah, yes, but and this is not for right now. We can talk outside of this meeting and more, but I'm just curious about what roadblocks are preventing us from, if someone wants to donate this money to make this happen, what's stopping it from happening?
Yeah, we already have this on our website. If somebody comes to us and says, hey, I would like to put a bus stop in here, there's some ADA guidelines, obviously right away. Those are the two things that we're really focused on in terms of us serving a stop with FTA dollars. It has to be ADA compliant. But I think we already have those guidelines on our website for people to look at.
Is the idea that any business who would approach that way owns the land where the bus stop would be going?
That'd be most ideal, yeah, because then the right-of-way would be very quick to get taken care of. It's more of an easement at that point. So.
And I think just to make sure that that's clear, I think what he's saying is that in the ideal scenario, it would be on their land, not that if they give the money, they're buying the land. Okay. Speaking to that, can we make sure that, because I know that packet that we were talking about is on the website, but in my experience, it's like pulling teeth to find. I feel something like that should be more easily on our website. And additionally to that, is there a role that the CAT website can play to have this on it?
Yep, we can do both of those. I mean, I think I would like to have a part on our website that just talks about bus stop improvements and our plan, and some sort of map that says, yes, FY27, these are the ones we're improving, FY28, 29, it kind of color codes everything, that we have a plan in place and we're being transparent about it. That would be my goal.
Great. Okay. If no one else has anything else, we are good for June 25th, I believe, unless we need to move it, staff. Okay, great. So we will set the next meeting for June 25th, and we will adjourn.